What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Shireen's World. Listen, I'm back up here live real quick with a quick video from Lee Hamhigh. Listen, make sure y'all go check out his YouTube page. It's called Mental Illness. And also, I believe he's going to be going out to New York City. Check out his YouTube page because he has a whole bunch of information about that up there as well and his Facebook page. But I'm going to get into this quick video real quick. It's called How Narcissists Really Feel About Your Reactions. Okay, as me being a survivor, I'm coming up here spreading awareness. So if you're going through this, male or female, listen to this. You know, Lee, he is a narcissist himself. He got diagnosed. He went through the counseling, and he's up here spreading awareness to let everyone know how narcissists operate. So, if you're in a situation, just know you're dealing with a narcissist and how to deal with them. Okay. So let's get into this video.
Going on, beautiful folks? Today, we're going to be talking about what narcissists think about your reactions. Like when you're reacting to them, when you're yelling at them, when you're screaming at them, when you're just throwing stuff at them. What do they think about that? When you're responding to them, when you're matching their energy, what do they think about that? What goes on in their minds? If you're new here, my name is Lee Hammond. I'm a diagnosed narcissist, and welcome to another episode of Deep Narcissist Code. Let's get it.
So yeah, make sure y'all go subscribe to his channel. Okay. It's real good. I even have him on Facebook.
Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah. Your reactions. Y'all know I'm a huge proponent, huge, maybe the biggest proponent in the niche of narcissistic abuse, right? Toxic abuse, of controlling your reactions. Now, let me say this right here, y'all. Controlling your reactions does not mean being passive. Lee wants us to be pushovers. That's what he wants us to do. Lee, I'm not built like that. I got to get the last word in. I can't get, no, Lee, no, I'm not going to do that. I will not. Controlling your reactions is not about being passive, y'all. It's actually about being in control of your reactions. It's all like controlling your reactions is not meeting them where they are. I always tell people like you don't have to match anybody else's energy if you
Absolutely.
already know what type of energy that you're bringing to the table, right? If you already know what you're going to say and what you're going to do, regardless, like you don't have to match their energy. So that's the easiest for me. I'm telling people that's probably the easiest way where you can control your reactions, right? That's probably the easiest way, just to have it in your mind. But narcissists, in their minds, in my mind, in our minds,
Pay attention.
we think that your reaction, you reacting to us, means that you care.
Pay attention.
We do. We truly believe that you care. Like, because if you didn't care, then why are you acting like this? If you don't care, why are you behaving like this? If you don't care, why are you doing this? Why are you yelling at me? Why are you screaming at me? So if this is I'm just telling you. I know a lot of y'all. When I said that, I know you was like, hell no, hell that's a lie. I don't care about that bastard no more. Leave. Hell, I don't care about it no more. I'm just tired of talking shit. I'm just tired. I get that, but on the other side of the dynamic, that's what narcissists. This is what we think.
Mm-hmm.
Not every single one of us thinks the same, right? But
No.
this is what we think. This is literally the mindset. Like we absolutely start to think that you still care when you're reacting, right? when you're reacting, I promise you, that's what goes on right there. This is the mentality, right? Um, like if I say something to you and you scream at me, or if I send you a message and you give me an over the top response, I think I won, right? I think
All right, so we're gonna have to pause it right there because listen, if you're in a situation, I can relate to this. There's times that you could go back and forth with the person and things like that, and you're expressing everything. Them narcissists don't care. You understand? They like that. They like that reaction. So anytime my narcissistic acts, when things was hitting the fan or our relationship or whatever, and he, with talking through text or whatever, his whole thing is, you don't want to hear all that through text. He would have to pull up on you and talk all that boohoo crying up in your face and stuff. They like to get a reaction out of you. And I started to learn that, like, wow, he likes the reaction. So once I picked up on that type of stuff, that's what made me, shut down, was like, remove myself out that situation. But listen, pay attention because if you are in a situation, You're dealing with a narcissist, and you have to know how to move. And like, every narcissist is not the same.
Like I
Everybody.
achieve
You know how your narcissist is. Okay? Everybody's not the same, whether they're male or female.
the victory. I think I've achieved some type of victory in this situation right here. Like if you're yelling and screaming at me, no matter what I've done, big or small, like I got you. You still care. You still absolutely care about me. So I feel like I'm
And
winning.
that's how they
You know what I'm
feel.
saying? It's just like you I this is how they rationalize some of their behaviors, y'all. Some of them like they don't we don't know how to express ourselves emotionally, right? We are emotionally dysregulated creatures, right? Me, every other narcissist is an emotionally dysregulated creature, right? Person. We're people. Y'all say creature, I just be joking. But we're emotionally dysregulated. So we don't know how to express
Sad.
ourselves. We don't know how to just come to you and simply just ask you a question like, "Hey, do you still
Pay
are you
attention.
angry at us? Do you still care? Can we work on things?" No, a lot of us will just rather test you.
You
They'll
hear
see through
that?
like these mean messages, this mean ass response, this toxic ass response is just a test to see what I can get away with. Just a test to see what I can do. Just a test to see what more, to see if you
Absolutely.
still care. Because that's at the end of the day.
That's the test.
It's the end of the day. No, I heard somebody say the other day. That's so crazy. At the end of
That's
the day,
crazy.
they
So
got
let
a
me tell you, my testing was when I went no contact and I stopped talking and communicating. My narcissistic ex would send me a message. Of course he did the hoovering, popping up and things like that. But also, eventually, he's like, "Oh, I noticed you're not communicating to me no more. You just stopped communicating." Yeah, because you like to get a reaction out of everything. Like, there's no point. It's no point to keep going through the same cycle of the same thing. You understand me? So no, it's no point. And one day I will be coming up here to speak a little bit on that situation, a little more on how things was going through that narcissistic relationship. Because, like I said, you know, everyone needs to understand what a narcissist is, and everybody narcissist is not the same.
like, um, it's just at the end of the day, they just want to test you, y'all. That's the most important thing is for them to test you and play these crazy ass, ridiculous games because um, this is how they get a rise out of you. Yeah, if I can
Mm-hmm.
get a rise out of you,
Yep.
you still care.
Yep.
Y'all know if I can trigger you, I can control you. You know, um, yeah, if I can trigger you, I
That's
can control you.
sad.
So if I can trigger an emotional response, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm just telling you.
And
Control
that's how
your
the
reaction,
cycle
even if
goes.
they send you something mean. Because one thing about narcissists is narcissists know your triggers. They are going. They
Yep.
know what's going to trigger you or what's going to set you.
My narcissistic ex told me he know how I move. He know who I am. So when I was moving differently, "Oh, you're acting different. You're not the same." So they know, they study you. He even told me he studied me. They study you. Okay? These narcissistic people are only out for what you can give them for their own gain and personal strength and needs. It's all for what they need. So if you got money, if you got this, if you got that, they're gonna butter you up until they get what they need out of you. Until you start realizing what's going on. You understand? Not only that, let me break this down to you. My narcissistic ex also proposed to me. He also asked to marry me. I also had a ring. You understand? And it was hell through that situation. And, I will give a backstory about that because police was called about that situation before. I seen demonized and that before. But like I said, little by little, I'll come out with my story. And little by little, when I'm sharing stuff like this, I would definitely, share little things of my experience of what I went through just to help someone else out. Like I said, if you're in that, please recognize the situation and get yourself out of there the best and safest way that you can. You understand me? You may not be able to do that overnight. It's going to take some planning, but trust me, get up out of that when you can.
Off, right? They know that they're going to trigger you and set you off, so they're going to keep doing it. If it works, I'm going to keep doing it,
Hmm.
right? If it works, I'm going to keep doing it. Why? Like it's like going to the well. If there's water at the well, I'm going to keep going to the well. If I keep going to the same spot, why would I, if I'm thirsty, why would I go to a different spot if I keep getting water from here? So if the same thing gets a reaction from you, I'm going to keep doing the
They're going
same
to keep
thing.
doing it.
Yeah. If the same thing gets a reaction from you, I'm going to keep doing the same thing. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? This is something you have to think about right there as you're dealing with this narcissistic person, because the more you react, the more I think you care. And I know, I'm not saying that you care, right? I know that you're
Absolutely.
angry. I know how to use my brain to come up with rational to come up with a rational thought. I don't think that you still care, right? This is not me saying that you still care. This is the mind of a
And
narcissist
that's
saying, "Hey, look, I think you still care about me because blah blah blah, because boo boo boo, and because b b b," right? This is where they go. This is where they get to it at. So you, as a person who's dealing with this narcissist, as a person who's trying to heal from this narcissistic person, have to understand that you have more power than you think you do.
mm-hmm.
The thing about narcissists, they want to try to convince you that you really don't have any power when you really do, right? They want to convince you that you have no power when our actuality, you have all the power. You don't
Yep.
be realizing it because they beat you up mentally so much that you don't even realize how powerful you are, how strong you are. Because if you knew how strong you were, you would take over.
Mm-hmm.
If you knew
Gotta take
how strong you
over.
were, you would overpower them, right? So they
I
have to
felt
keep
that.
you thinking
Gotta
that
take
you are
over.
weak. Listen, that makes sense. A good, y'all know, I watch a lot of kids movies. I worked at Blockbuster for so long, but I also have 3 kids. I've been through, I was, believe it or not, I was a kid once myself, right? Um, so even in this space right here, I've watched so many kids movies, right? One of the kids movies that I can tell you about right now that gives a great example of this is A Bug's Life. If you ever
Mm.
seen A Bug's Life, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like the grasshoppers, like were pretty much bullying the ants. Had the ants giving them everything. Had the ants hunting food for them to
Mm-hmm.
scrambling enough
I hear
food
that.
for them.
It's like
The ants were
supplies.
afraid of. The ants were afraid of the grasshoppers because the grasshoppers were so big, right? And then Flick the crazy ant. Flick was like, man, y'all, fuck them ants, fuck these grasshoppers. Like, y'all, it's more of us than it is of them. We're stronger than them. They trying to trick us to think we're weak.
Mm-hmm.
Man, the grasshopper tried to kill Flick ass, right? Flick took off running. But then they realized, like, hey, y'all, we are stronger than this. They want to trick us. They're tricking us to think that we're weaker.
Yeah.
Because we know if we know our strength,
You
we
know
can
your
take over
strength.
them. We can overpower them. And that's what they did. The ants came together and flushed out the grasshoppers because the ants were stronger than the grasshoppers. But the grasshoppers knew it. In this situation right here, you're the ants. You're Flick. They're the grasshoppers. They're trying to convince you that you don't have any power. So they try to keep you reacting. Because guess what? If I can get you to react, especially if I can keep it on camera, oh my goodness, I got you now. This is why your
So basically, what he mean by that, when you start being quiet and then eventually you react, that's when they start pulling their cameras out and trying to record. They're not recording what they're doing. They didn't record what they did before that situation. Understand me? They only record your reaction of when you just exploded out of nowhere. And that's sad. That is sad what narcissist people do. It's crazy. But let's get back into this. Make sure y'all subscribe to Mental Illness page, man. For real.
reactions, controlling your reactions are absolutely a superpower. That's why I call it the superpower, y'all, because it is. Controlling those reactions of yours is absolutely a superpower, regardless of what people say. Regardless, you are a superhero because you control your reactions. Breathe, pat yourself on the back, because otherwise you gonna imagine your narcissistic partner. Imagine you screaming and yelling at your narcissistic partner or ex,
Hmm.
right? And then they look and you throw something, you yell at them or you send a mean message to them, and then look, when you leave,
Yeah, that is just crazy, y'all. Like thinking about it is just absolutely crazy. Okay.
I, I thought for a second that she didn't care no more because she's still yelling and screaming at me. I got her. Do you want that right there? Do you want this toxic narcissistic bastard thinking that you still care because you can't control those reactions? And I know y'all,
Gotta
there
control
is
them.
a science. There's a science to controlling your reactions. You have to work on it. You have to empower yourself. You have to be as strong as you possibly can, right?
Hmm.
Because if you don't, you're gonna run into this toxic narcissistic bastard, and you're gonna have a hard day. And
Hard
like
day.
this doesn't have to be your partner. No, this could be your parent.
It could
This
be
could be
anybody.
this could be your ex. You trying to co-parent with them, right? They're trying to get you to react through the kids or whatever. They're trying to do and say stuff to the kids to get a reaction from you as well. That's something that you have to think about too, right? This is the mentality that you have to think about too. So I'd say that to say this: narcissists, when they get you to react, not only do they think you still care, they think that they are still in control. They just do. They
Don't
think
let
they
them
have
be in
control and
control.
power over you. They think that they still know you better than you know yourself. So if they can keep you down and out and guessing and confused, they feel like you win. They feel like they win, right? They feel like they feel like they have defeated you. So that's why I'm just saying, y'all, understand the power that you have.
Understand.
Let
So listen, y'all gotta understand the power that you have when coming to the narcissist. Okay, if you're in a situation, I'm speaking to the ones that's in it and coming out of it too. Control your reactions, especially when you're in it. Like I said, I got through my situation while I was in it. And yeah, I may be dealing with the smear campaigns after. It is what it is. But I learned how to control my reactions once I got around because it's like, and what I mean by controlling my reactions, you don't got to be out there, going crazy. But I just learned how to control my reactions. I just started listening. Every time he talked, hmm my mouth was shut. hmm Yeah. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you got to learn how to control it. You understand? And please, like, I can't express it enough because, like I said, everybody narcissist is different, whether it's female or male. It's all the same. Females is all the same. Males is all the same. You gotta get yourself out that situation. Like I said, I'm gonna try to figure out how to get this registry list going because it's out of control dealing with domestic violence or a narcissistic abuse relationship. Okay. So if you are watching this, make sure y'all go subscribe to Mental Healness Facebook page. Also, he's on YouTube as well. And from my understanding, he's gonna be out in New York City doing like a pod, like a group thing. Check his pages out and get all that information out there. I'm quite sure you guys will really love to listen to what he has to say because he is a diagnosed narcissistic, uh, person himself. He's diagnosed with it, and he's bringing awareness. And I love hearing from people that's diagnosed with it and that went to counseling and that's actually speaking up, bringing awareness so other people can understand what it is and being real about it. So they're out here, okay? Like I said before, don't be out here registering no cars for nobody, okay? Don't be out here putting car insurance for nobody. Don't be out here giving up whatever you worked hard earned, whatever the case may be for no narcissist. It starts off very sweet. If you want to know what a narcissist is, check out my stuff, okay? If you want to know how they start, check out my YouTube page, my Facebook page, or my community wall. I know I have some stuff posted up there about how it all starts with the love bombing and everything like that. Okay, so if you're in that situation, where they just sweet talking you, especially when they don't have a job. Okay, I don't care what street pharmacist stuff that they doing out in them streets. I don't care what they got going on. If they're a street pharmacist, that is not a job. Okay, you know, going to DSS or, doing things like that. That's not a job. Okay. So make sure if that narcissist don't have a job and you supplying all of that and you're doing all of that, I'm gonna tell you right now, the narcissist has multiple supplies, whether it's male, female, whatever it is. Okay. So and if the narcissist does have a job, hey, get yourself out that situation. You understand me? Because that narcissist is probably doing stuff within the job. So listen, I don't know how much more to express it, but one day I'm gonna come up here and we're gonna talk about, what happened on August 3rd at night, 2025. You know, as me being a survivor, it feels good that, people are following my Facebook page and, reaching out to me and just feeling great about the page. Everything is nothing but love up there. It's a public page. Anybody could go up there and find the page. It's absolutely public. Okay. So, hey, welcome to Shireen's World. I'm gonna get up out of here. Y'all make sure y'all go watch my other videos I got up there. Maybe tomorrow I'll probably come up. come back up here with some more videos of maybe domestic violence or hoovering, whatever. Drop some comments in the, comment section, whatever. I'll probably come up here and do some videos about, family court and things like that. And also, I'll probably talk about my 2019 situation. Who knows? Okay? Who knows what I'm gonna come up here and talk about? But it all, listen, some of my followers on the other side on Facebook, they be asking questions. And sometimes I come over here and answer the questions or whatever it is that they need to, whatever the topic may be. Okay? And let me tell y'all this. Don't be out here registering no cars. I told you I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna keep that saying for the rest of the 2026. Do not be out here registering no cars for no people. Okay? You'll be held reliable and responsible for it. Okay? All right. So we're gonna head up out of here. Make sure y'all subscribe to my channel. Have a great day, guys.
House too quiet, heart too loud. Thought I'd die there. Look at me now, yeah. Keys in the door, I froze in the kitchen. Breath so thin, could've sworn I was missing. Purple on my skin, but my soul stayed vivid. You said you're mine, and I whispered I'm living. Phone in the drawer, but I mapped my escape. Cash in the book.